typically on these old gas stations you'll see monitoring wells. And this one does not. I don't see a single one. So he has long ago cleaned up the environmentals on it, but it is too close to the curb, or too close to the intersection there, and too close to the intersection there to have easy in and out traffic. What does that mean? Well, you might buy it and use it for some sub-marginal use, but it is more likely to be valuable, if it's going to ever be valuable again, as a part of a larger development. So in other words, if somebody were aggregating the land around here to build a larger building, then this property could become quite valuable.
Right.
It'd be quite valuable. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad time to be talking to Dino about whether or not he would sell this property. So I may call him up tomorrow and say, hey, I just noticed that you've not been able to get a tenant yet for that old Hertz property. Would you ever let that go, or are you just going to keep it forever?
Right.
And maybe I'd find out some information. He might say, no, I own the building next door, and someday I'm going to build something else there, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily cross it off my list, but now I know more about him and his motivation and so forth.
Right.
But, and we've been on the street for less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and you would have never found that out driving.
Unless you walked right there.
Yeah.
You could go around that corner in your car 100 times and never have noticed that. Or if you did notice there was some sort of notice, you'd think, oh, maybe Dino's going to build something, you know.
It could have been a notice for a building permit or something.
Yeah. Instead, it's a public nuisance. I love this country.
That's so awesome.
This isn't something that nobody else can do. You know, this is relatively simple procedure. I'm still interested in whether or not they're any. You know, this used to be a monitoring well. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. I saw that little patch of concrete over there, and I thought that was, and this was. Maybe the way he rehabilitated the property was he covered up the monitoring wells.
So nobody knows.
So nobody knows. I doubt that.
Yeah.
That's a federal offense. But, so nobody would do that.
Of course not.
I spent a lot of time looking at what we call reader boards, the directory of the building, so that I know where people are. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while I'll say, wow, I bet you I could take every one of these people out of here and put them on the second floor of that northwest corner building. It'd be a little nicer environment. They have a better lobby to walk for their clients to walk into and so forth. Interesting.
Yeah, and parking in this building is very difficult.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So parking is a problem for this building.
There's a lot of empty retail space right now. It's little retail space, little and old retail space. The people that should have gone out of business have gone out of business, and now, you know, the so-called market hasn't suffered from that. It's a natural weeding out process, a correction. Now, I didn't know this existed. I'm going to make sure my wife never finds out about it. So there's valuable stuff you can get on these walks. Not exactly, you can't exactly walk here from 9 different office buildings. Right. So next time their lease is up, you might encourage them to move. Even a block or two would help to get them on the main drag and make it easier for them to park, which is, again, very difficult in this situation. It's not just for them to park, but anybody that, I mean, very few people can walk here.
Yeah.
And so you know, you're almost always getting in your car and coming over here, and when you get over here, it's very hard to park.
Yeah.
Very hard.
So these are potential tenants.